grace freely given. This situation, whatever it is, it does not control me. Yes, I fail, I fall. Because we still have a human nature, a sinful nature. But what happens when you fall? You're going to live there? You're going to let those chains just keep pulling you backwards? You're going to say you have no authority over me. I have a God. I have a God who paid the price and who is in charge of my life right now. I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I'm giving him all the authority over my life. So whatever is happening, you don't have authority over me. That's the attitude that Jesus had with Pilate. Hey, you have no authority over me. What are you talking about? Who do you think you are? You wouldn't be there if it wasn't for my dad in heaven. You know? Where is your focus? Who's in charge of your life? Who's in charge of your life? And we may ask questions when it comes to sin, right? Why would God allow us to be tempted by a sin, to be in chains with a sin? Why would a loving God who paid for my sin allow me to be stuck with a sin? You know? And John Newton, famous for writing Amazing Grace, I think y'all know that. He gave a good answer for that question. He said once that the reason why God allowed us to be tempted or to be bound by sin is so we can grow in grace.
Wow.
And he said this: we think that growing in grace means getting to a place where we don't need grace anymore. You know?
Wow.
But growing in grace often means growing in our awareness of our need for grace.
Wow.
Growing grace means growing in your awareness of your need for it. Not getting to a place where you feel like grace is no longer necessary. You're not going to get to a place where like, yeah, I got rid of all my sin, of all my problems, all my trials. I don't even need grace anymore because I already received everything that God could give me. That's not going to happen. Growing grace is the understanding that you need it every day, more and more.
Wow.
More and more. That's what it means, growing in grace. Growing in grace is not like, oh yeah, I have enough grace, I have too much grace from God. No, it's like, I don't have any, I need more. I need grace every single day. That's what it means. That's what it means. And that's why you gotta focus. Look towards Christ, not a situation around us. That's why we have to understand that the chains that we have, whatever it is, the chain that you have, those chains are there because God allowed it to be. So he can show you his mercy. So he can show you his grace. Don't ever say I'm a prisoner of this and I can get rid of it. Hey, I'm a prisoner of Jesus Christ, of Christ Jesus, who show me grace and mercy every day. Because even though I fall for this sin or whatever it is, I know that his love is still there. His love never fails. His love never fails. And nothing and no one can change that. We are not called to be perfect. That's impossible. We are in the process of sanctification. Right? And that happens when we learn more and more about who Christ is.
Wow.
About his love, about his grace. And the thing is, we're only going to learn how the grace of God works if we need it. Right? Because if we don't need the grace of God, how am I going to learn how it works properly? If I want everything to be perfect, that I don't need to ask God to have mercy on me because I fail, how are you going to learn how mercy works? How forgiveness works? How grace works if you don't need it? The thing is, we're always going to need it. There's no running away from it. There's no running away from it. And that's the mentality we got to have. Hey God, I know I need it. And I'm going to keep looking towards you, looking at the cross, searching for that grace, for that mercy. I want to be a prisoner of you. I don't want these chains to dictate my life, to tell me the direction that I need to go. I don't want these chains to stop me from doing the work that you have for me, to do your will. Because if we look at the things around us, we're going to sink. And we're going to sink in our faith. We're gonna sink in our life with God. We're going to get stuck. We're not going to move. Because we're going to think we're worthless. We're going to think that we are bound to our circumstances. And when we do that, we throw away completely the sovereignty of God.
Wow.
We'll throw that away. You know, if you were stuck in your circumstances and your sin, and God can do anything about it, then just throw away His sovereignty. What's the point? What's the point of it? You know, our God either is sovereign or He's not. And if He's not, we can throw away our Bibles because there is no real use to us. But if He's really who He says He is, all powerful, eternal, almighty, then we can rest in that. We can rest in that, regardless of what's happening in our lives right now, of the situation that we're in, of the sin that we have, because of other people, of whatever other people is saying about you or about me. You know, oh, you're in church now. You think just because you're in church now that's going to change what you did in the past? That's going to change your behavior? But do you think that just because you're in church now and you're following Jesus, things are going to be different? I know who you are. You're going to fall in the same sin again. You can say, yeah, maybe I will, but guess what? That sin does not control me. I have mercy and grace from Christ, from God. And I'm going to walk in that. And we have to remember Romans